I married into a quiet, well-mannered family that never raised their voices even when they should have. My mother-in-law, Elena, was the softest of them all. Gentle, polite. Property for a few months, I began noticing something off. Every morning at 6:45 a.m., she slipped out of the house with a bunch of fresh marigolds. Not roses, not lilies, marigolds, and she always walked toward the back of the property where the old garden merged into a small, forgotten orchard. At first, I thought she was just visiting someone's grave. The property was decades old, and families in rural areas often had private burial plots. But one morning, curiosity got the better of me. I followed her quietly, and that's when I saw it. There was no grave, no stone, no mound, nothing, just an empty patch of dirt under a crooked mango tree. Still, she knelt down, arranged the marigolds, and whispered, "I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please, please forgive me." I felt my skin crawl. I slipped away before she saw me, but from that moment, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Whom was she apologizing to? Why marigolds? Why the empty ground? And why did it feel like she was begging, not mourning? The first crack came from my husband. That evening, I casually mentioned the orchard. He froze, literally froze, as if I had said something forbidden. "You shouldn't go there," he muttered. "Mom gets emotional. Just leave it." That was the first time I heard him sound afraid of his own mother. The housekeeper gave me the second crack. While hanging laundry outside, she whispered, "Madam, never follow Ma'am Elena in the morning." "Why?" She looked around nervously. "That place, it is empty for a reason." She wouldn't say another word. I dug deeper, and everything escalated. The next morning, I went out before Elena. I scanned the dirt where she always knelt. Nothing. But when I brushed my hand across the surface, the soil felt disturbed. Not recently, repeatedly, as if someone had dug there. Many times. My heart pounded. When Elena arrived and saw me near the tree, she dropped her flowers. "Don't stand there," she screamed, her voice cracking with pure terror. She ran to me, grabbed my arm, dragged me away as if the ground itself was dangerous. I had never seen her like that. When we reached the house, she was shaking. "You must never, ever stand on that spot. Not after what happened." "What happened?" I whispered, her eyes filled with tears. But she didn't answer. That night, a storm rolled in, and the truth came out on its own. Thunder shook the windows, rain slammed onto the roof. At 2 a.m., I woke to my mother-in-law's cries echoing through the hallway. I followed the sound. She was sitting on the floor, holding an old, water-damaged shoebox. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside were a tiny blue baby blanket, a rusted silver bracelet, and a hospital wristband with a name scratched off. She looked up at me with hollow eyes. "There was a grave," she whispered, "but we never buried him." My breath caught. "Who?" She closed her eyes. "My son, my husband's younger brother, stillborn, but not dead at birth. He lived for 3 minutes. 3 minutes she never forgave herself for. We never held a funeral," she sobbed. "Your father-in-law said we should forget. Move on. But how can a mother forget a child she held as he faded?" She was talking to the ground, because that was where she wanted to bury him. Where she imagined he rested. A grave she created in her own mind. A grave the family refused to acknowledge. But then came the twist. I gently lifted the hospital wristband. Under the scratched-out ink, in the right light of the storm, I could still read the name. It wasn't a baby boy. It was a girl. And the mother's name wasn't Elena. It was someone else's. A different woman entirely. I looked up slowly. "Elena, this child wasn't yours." She stared at me with wide, empty eyes. And whispered, "I know." My chest tightened. "Then why?" "Because I know where the real grave is." The hair on the back of my neck stood up. "And that one," she continued, her voice breaking, "shouldn't exist. I thought the story ended there. I was wrong." Asterisk. The next morning, police cars surrounded the property. My mother-in-law had turned herself in at dawn. She told them she wanted to confess something buried for decades. My husband refused to speak. The housekeeper quit without taking her salary. And the orchard has been sealed off with yellow tape. I don't know what lies beneath the soil. I don't know whose grave should, or shouldn't, exist. But one thing is certain. My mother-in-law hasn't talked to the empty patch of dirt since that night. She talks to someone else now. Someone behind bars. Someone she calls the one who told me to stay quiet.